Okay, so Swifty, for our first story, why don't you give us a rundown of what happened with Josh Block this week?
All right. Well, earlier this week, people were posting on all the social media platforms that Josh had pancreatitis. Do you remember where that initially came from? Did Mr.Based post that?
It was on a live stream. Mr.Based showed his phone, and then people saw the text.
All right. So we all thought he had pancreatitis, and he was in the hospital for it, which pancreatitis should be a particularly dark turn for Josh Block because he's unable to stop drinking. He just can't stop drinking. It's like his pride and joy, and drinking doesn't pair well with pancreatitis. It'll kill you. So it looked like it was going to be a dark turn.
But to be fair, isn't that true with like anything? Isn't anything if you drink on it, like it just makes it worse?
Probably.
Like, I don't know, because you mentioned the thing that like we figured out he had it from Mr.Based text, but later in the week, Mr.Based showed a message from Josh saying, "Hey, I'm fine. It wasn't actually pancreatitis or however you say it, but something else. So I'm okay." But like you said, if he has pancreatitis or something that's drinking related that injured him, Mr.Based and Josh would both not want that to be true, and like would want to convey it as if he doesn't have that. And
I mean, regardless, he's gonna have liver failure.
Yeah, eventually. yeah, eventually he's gonna die of liver failure. But also, we got the leaked phone call from his grandpa being like, "Hey, Josh has some form of severe pancreatitis or pancreatitis, or like I said, however you say it."
He's probably will be in a hospital for a few days at least. I don't know whether it's mild or severe. If it's severe, he'll be in the hospital longer. With his pancreatitis, he'll never be able to drink like he does. You know that.
I feel like his grandpa knows what's going on with him better than Mr.Based does, but...
Well, there's two... a pancreatitis can be acute or chronic, like meaning it can either like go away or it can stay. And his grandpa made it sound like he had chronic pancreatitis that was going to last forever. I don't know what he was basing that off of, but it sounds like he didn't have pancreatitis at all, or it was acute.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the family member would know more about it than Mr.Based would. But Mr.Based is just his manager.
Mr.Based also isolates him from his grandpa.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like with HIPAA stuff, I don't know if like you can release all those kind of details to somebody like Mr.Based or...
Josh is probably just very open with Based.
Yeah, that's probably true. But also, I feel like Josh is the kind of guy who would lie, like, because he loves drinking and he does not want to stop drinking. So
No,
I feel like he's the type of person who would lie and be like, "It's nothing. Don't worry. You can still feed me White Claws while I'm doing my tours." It feeds into the next story of Mr.Based getting arrested really well, because Mr.Based gets arrested on live stream or whatever. He's locked up for 24 hours, gets released. Well, while he's locked up, right after he's getting arrested on stream, Josh goes to his apartment and is like freaking out, not because Mr.Based, his handler, has been sent to prison for God knows what, but because he's gonna have to take care of Mr.Based dog, and he keeps saying, "My life is full of more burdens now." He's just like freaking out.
Yet another burden on my life. If I didn't have enough problems already, now I have to take care of an animal.
But as soon as he like gets into the house and verifies that the dog is okay and lets the dog know that he's gonna take care of it now, the first thing he does is say, "There's a bar down the street on the corner. We can stop there and get some cheap drinks." Like right away.
Can't frickin' believe it. Frank Base got arrested. Now I have to take care of his dog. As if I don't have enough problems in my life.
Time for espresso martini.
Yeah, but I'm banned from most of the bars around here. We gotta go to the West Village.
Alright.
Yeah, so this...
Shall we just Uber?
We could walk.
Alright.
For that, he did get Mr. Based did get released within 24 hours, which is something Josh said. And apparently he got arrested or he had a warrant out for his arrest for not appearing in court, but we don't know what for.
It's good that he got released because people were worried about Josh's ability to take care of the dog.
Yeah, immediately. It's also because like Mr. Based is not like he's not a normal guy, so he doesn't feed his dog food. Somebody said he feeds his dog chicken on the live stream, but I don't know. And then the last thing we had, unless anybody else has something to say about Mr. Based being arrested.
Just that someone broke his window while he was in there.
Yeah, dude. Somebody came and busted out his fucking window, which is really funny.
We actually aren't sure if that's from the inside or the outside, because Josh could have broken it.
Yeah, Josh could have broken it. I don't know. The thing about like Mr. Based and like him, I used to follow him back whenever he was with IP2, and like he got followed around by a lot of the Mold Mansion streamers who lived in New York, and those are the type of dudes who would be like, somebody donates them $5 to go break Mr. Base's window in, and they would go do it. So like, I could totally see somebody be like, "Hey, go break Mr. Base's window," but it could be Josh in a drunken raid.
You take advantage of the middle class? Well, you're gonna pay! Pay!
For DSP this week, the main big thing for him, he has been in the midst of like an absolute meltdown. Like we're getting meltdown streams virtually every day from DSP because one of his like longtime major whales, this like guy named IronChefSakai, who keeps giving, he's given Phil probably north of $10,000. It's just a rough estimate off the top of my head. And he got in a lot of trouble with DSP because he got mod in his chat and started shit talking DSP because he wouldn't let IronChefSakai into his moderator Discord, and IronChefSakai was getting a ton of shit from detractors, obviously, because he's a huge whale. So whenever he wasn't allowed in the Discord, he started talking shit about Phil. Phil took away his mod and I think timed him out or banned him or something like that. And IronChefSakai's response was to go start his own live stream where he just shit talked Phil, called Phil an idiot, and then said that the only reason he had been donating to Phil is because he wanted to get into the mod Discord so he could troll them.
I tried. You should have turned with Void. We laughed at DSP together over COD. That's true. That's true. I just wasn't ready. I needed to be the mod. I needed to get my fucking... I just needed to get behind the scenes. I was so close. I'm kind of pissed at myself because I don't know. I think I could have gotten to the Discord. I know there's got to be a fucking secret Discord.
Which I don't believe at all. He spent $10,000 on a really shitty troll.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this week he was feuding with Phil, trying to get remodded, and started pay pigging again after saying he was never gonna donate to Phil again. So he started pay pigging again. Phil basically told him he was never gonna get mod again because nobody could trust him and he was a loser. So IronChefSakai goes to this other kick streamer named Strangely Lexi, who is just like a random, like, not even a titty streamer or like an ass streamer, but just like a regular female streamer. She's actually a lesbian. But he went over to her stream and just started wailing the fuck out in her chat now. And then all of the DSP trolls, all the detractors, went over to her channel and just started donating tons of money to like get her to watch Phil's detractor content and like all DSP's worst moments. So she started shit talking Phil, and all the detractors were in there making fun of him. So Phil's been on an absolute like incel rampage on female streamers, and Strangey Lexi in particular. He called her, like, he said that she's a slut.
Oh, did you know that there's an e-beggar named DarkSydePhil? Oh, so embarrassed. He's in his 40s and he e-begs. You're fucking squatting on camera for money, you dumb shit. You fucking slut.
That female streamers are basically sex workers.
Fuck these disingenuous people who pretend like they're content creators and they're doing anything they can to make $1. Whether it's, abusing simps on the internet, fucking showing off their bodies and shit. That is 100% slutty behavior, and it's borderline sex work.
And that all of his detractors are stupid simps, and that's the only reason like women like her ever have attention. Like just crazy meltdown shit.
That's so stupid of Phil to not just
That's
swallow
crazy.
his pride. Like he could have just been nice to the detractor, to the whale when the whale came back.
Yeah, dude, he's just incapable. Because I do think at like a certain level, IronChefSakai, like all the whales do like messing with Phil to a certain degree. Like Only Iced Coffee, who is his like biggest donator of all time, he says that he doesn't even like Phil, but he likes the detractors getting mad at him donating. So that's the only reason he donates to Phil. But yeah, if I were Phil, I would just be nice to. I wouldn't even give a fuck if IronChefSakai went to go fucking donate to some like lady or simp over some lesbian lady. Like I would make fun of him for that, but he's so incapable of having any form of banter. I clipped it, but his big dunk on IronChefSakai was saying that he's Iron Chef cooked, and he's never gonna be in his chat again.
IronChefSakai is Iron Chef cooked tonight and isn't coming back.
I was like, dude, it's like not even. It's not even like clever wordplay. Like it's just stupid.
What is up, everyone? Hello, and welcome. Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
With Cyrax, about a month ago, maybe a few months ago, but for the past few months, we've been hearing Cyrax mention his son, Callum. Yeah, which no one, like, at first, no one knows what he's talking about. Like, who's your son, Callum? And eventually Cyrax starts mentioning that he's with his ex, Kyra, again. Kyra is a drug addict. She is a real woman who dates Cyrax, but she's a drug addict with a child, and for some reason, every time this happens, Chance takes it really seriously and pretends that he's the child's father. Even though Chance talks about the kid's father being in the kid's life, he still wants to be weird and say that he's the kid's father. A few days ago, Cyrax posted a few live streams crashing out because apparently Kyra cheated on him and blocked him, and this is Cyrax's only means of communication is to make these YouTube videos. And he's like, I want to know why, Kyra. Why would you do this to me? It's the one thing you said you'd never do. You don't know how hard it was for me to say bye to Callum one last time. He's the only thing I care about more than this relationship in the whole world is that boy.
You don't understand how the one thing that mattered more to me than even mine and yours relationship, which is being a fucking dad to your son, Callum. That boy made me proud to be a dad. I was excited to be able to do something I had never gotten to experience before in my life, which is to be a fucking dad and a father. You don't understand how much it hurt me knowing that the last words I got to say to Callum where I love you, son, and I hope you have a good day at school.
And it's just like, dude, chill out. First of all, Callum is probably scared of the way that you look. You look more like a monster. I mean, seriously, he looks more like a monster than human being. And like, this is not the first time he's pretended to be the father, or like, just like, yeah, he takes this shit too seriously. I don't know what to say.
That is so funny because it is so true. Like, if I was like an 8-year-old boy and I saw Cyrax come into like my house, I would probably run away crying.
Yeah, I would run away. Fear would kick in and I'd run away.
Like, no, you don't even need like any of the lore about Cyrax. You just need to see him. And you're just like instantly you have like a visceral reaction. Like your reptile brain kicks in and you know that you need to get away from this man. But one of my favorite things about him is like he is very like melodramatic about stuff. So like he plays up all of his emotions. So like when Callum gets taken away from him, he has to drop a wrestling promo that's like, the hardest thing I've ever had to do is say goodbye to that boy. And he's like never met the kid in real life. But like he knows that's how he should feel. So he like thinks about all the movies he's seen and then he acts that scene out.
Basically what makes him the golden goose is that even when his mom is in the room yelling at him that he doesn't need to defend his honor against the trolls, is he's like, no, I do. Look what they're saying about me. That's basically what makes Cyrax so magical.
This is off topic, but one of my favorite Cyrax moments of all time is whenever him and that one girl, like his original girlfriend who left him, him and her are sitting in the room, and then his mom comes in to like yell at him, and then both him and the girl jump up to be like, but they're talking shit online. You don't know what they're saying, Mom. And she's like, I don't give a shit. Turn it off. Log off.
Fuck you, you dumbass bitch!
Yeah,
Go
I already
ahead.
know what the gap
Show
is.
your ass
Hush.
up. I'll
I know what the
fucking blow your
gap is.
ass.
You're going to be tent hopping again. That's you,
Fuck
bitch.
you.
Hush. That's you. That's you. Shut it down. Bye,
Fuck you,
hooker.
you bitch.
Bye, tent hopping whore.
I'm going for a fucking walk.
No, it's too dangerous.
It's
too dark out.
I don't give a fuck.
She said, fuck your dead AIDS-infested brother. It's all just words.
I don't give a fuck.
It's just words.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Why do you guys even sit there and listen to this shit?
It's interesting that like these funny clips are still coming out because now that Marty's dead, it was hard to tell whether the whole story would be over, because it hasn't always been the Cyrax story. At least for me, it's always been the story of Cyrax versus Music Biz Marty. So I wasn't sure if it was all just going to kind of come to a close and things were going to be boring. But as of right now, as of this week, Cyrax content has been funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he is with Christian, right? Like Christian had multiple main rivals. Some of them were more funny and some of them were less funny. So I'm wondering if it's going to take kind of that direction. Like a neutral is going to step into Marty's place and take over. Or if it's just going to be like this, where like Cyrax became a lolcow for a very good reason. Like you just said the thing about him and Heather going and throwing all their shit in the lake because some fucking juggalo cut him out of a record deal, or they got mad at him. But Cyrax does do lolcow shit on his own. Like the way of the Bushido stuff, all of that was him. Like just reading about samurais and then deciding he was a samurai, an urban samurai. So like he is gonna do funny shit, but it is gonna be weird now that Marty's gone.
Yeah, and the day that this goes on YouTube will be the anniversary of Marty beating up Cyrax in real life.
Yes, dude. I will never forget watching Marty's big ol' ass get off that porch and go and beat the fuck out of Cyrax. Who's the
Yeah,
king?
man.
You are.
Get the fuck out of here. Who's the king? You are? Then run away now. And shut the fuck up. Bye.
Yeah, watching that live was probably the craziest live stream I've ever, 100% the craziest live stream I've ever watched. It was like much more exciting than a UFC match or a boxing match for me, because we were all waiting for him to show up, and then he just kind of like manifested out of nowhere, like some sort of weird apparition, and then Marty walked down there and they fought.
Yeah,
And
I think that he had been in Akron for like a couple days too, and like Cyrax was dropping videos saying that he couldn't go because obviously Marty had pulled up to Cyrax's house multiple times, and Cyrax like always came up with an excuse and always like failed to come outside. But this time, he actually showed up. He actually walked over to Marty's house and got his ass beat.
Yeah, this was Marty's third time traveling 300 miles to confront Cyrax.
To try to fight Cyrax. One of the best parts about the Marty Cyrax fight, and this is one of the things that I think is the funniest about Cyrax, is the day after the fight, after getting his ass beat, Cyrax drops a video where he's proclaiming victory over the whole situation and like talking about how he still came out on top.
40 minutes later he was live. Granted, it took him a day or two to say that he won the fight, but 40 minutes later he was saying, "I showed up and showed out."
At least I showed up. At least I showed that I have the balls to throw down. But you have to act like a bitch.
It's just so funny. His ability to turn everything into a win is hilarious. Even that, like even in the showed out thing, I don't remember the whole video, but does he say that he lost, or does he just imply that it's good he went out there and fought?
Yeah, so he goes live in a child samurai outfit, and he does acknowledge that Marty, quote, beat his ass, but Cyrax says that he deserves respect for showing up, which I guess he does deserve respect for showing up, but I wouldn't call it showing out.
Immediately collapsing to the ground and crying.
I know, and then the fight was supposed to be over, and Cyrax on his back reaches up and hits Marty, and then Marty just starts pummeling him. Can you imagine if Cyrax just laid out Marty?
Dude, that I don't know. That would have probably been the more entertaining outcome, because I can't even begin to comprehend what that promo drop would have been like.
Oh god,
that probably would have been the hardest promo drop of all time.
You can tell he was kind of like riling himself up for a mega punch. As he approached Marty, he said, "I thought I told you you ain't supposed to be here." And then tell he was just gonna mega punch, lay him out, and then go home victorious. That's how it was gonna go. And Cyrax is at it.
I thought I told you ain't supposed to be here.
Come on. Come over here.
Oh my god.
What a thing to say. I thought I told you you ain't supposed to be here, as if you actually are the king of Akron.
It's so funny. He's just completely delusional. The funny thing is that shows, because before, whenever he was cowarding in his attic, whenever Marty previously was showing up, or sending his grandparents out there to go and tell him to go away, then you kind of it's okay, he's playing it up for the internet. He's an internet tough guy. He's just playing pretend. Whenever he shows up there, I feel like the delusions had to actually have gotten to the point where he said he believes he's the king of Akron and he is going to beat the shit out of Marty.
He had been convincing himself that he's quicker than Marty. He had been doing little boxing streams where he was training. He had been preparing for the fight.
I don't know how you top that. That is so funny. That's
the build-up. insane because I think it was 6 or 7 years, maybe 5 years of them going back and forth. And Marty had this actual hatred for Cyrax. I think Cyrax had called Marty a murderer because Marty's ex-girlfriend died. Every once in a while, Cyrax got mad enough, he would say stuff like Cyrax would pretend to switch into sad mode and be like, "Why did you do it, Marty? Why did you kill her? You murdered her."
Kelly, I need to say this to you. So, like, I had an ex-girlfriend who died of COVID, and Chance goes around telling people that I murdered her. And the day that she died, Chance, be quiet, Chance. The day that she died, he asked for naked pictures of her to jerk off to. He's that sick.
He decided to appear on Lolcow Live, and it went exactly how I expected it to. They really just kind of like dropped the ball and didn't know like what to do with him. It kind of sounded like in the interview it was like somebody had told them funny stuff about Cobra and then they never looked into it. So they knew that he believed he was magic. They knew that he made wands, and they knew that he had messed up teeth. And those are like the three things that they knew, and they just kept going back to that well over and over again, but just not in pointed enough ways to where Cobra was interested in it, and they kind of expected Cobra to just carry the show himself. So it was like, Cobra, cast a spell. Like, Cobra doesn't do that kind of thing. Cobra does the kind of thing where he goes to a crosswalk and casts a spell to make the crosswalk change. The last guy that we have to talk about this week is the Dark Lord himself, the Dark Gord, KingCobraJFS.
Oh, look, we have a crosswalk sign right there. There's no button to cross this side of the street, but there is one. There's a button for this side over here, but not a button for this side. So, yeah. How about some walk sign? Come on. What you got? Walk sign. Green light and walk sign. Patience and persistence. The 2 P's of magic, YouTube. Walk sign, motherfucker. Let's see it. There we go.
Or like makes a chi ball to channel all of his energy in. He doesn't do shit. Like, it just like cast spells on people. But it was really a dud. There wasn't a lot of good stuff. The main good things were he cast a circle of protection on the fat camp that they're going to be doing, and he pressed Boogie about faking cancer. He was really upset about that. But outside of that, there really wasn't too much stuff. And then immediately following the live stream, he ended up getting banned from YouTube for 2 months. So he's had to start streaming on Facebook. So if you want any gender relations rants or advice on how to get women from a guy who almost killed himself because of his last girlfriend, you can view that on Facebook.
That's where I think Lolcow missed out. Because I think they should have asked about Queen Cobra.
Yeah, they brought her up for a second. My thing with it was like, there are so many dudes who just make great Cobra content and like know so much about the guy and would love to interview him.
Yeah.
I said Seizure Robot 9000. He thinks that Cobra is on the verge of death, like he's about to die. So he really wants to do an interview with Cobra. And originally the idea of Lolcow Live was having farmers and cows together, so they would do shows together. That is a perfect opportunity to invite a farmer on who really wants to do content with Cobra, has big ideas for him, isn't a shithead, and like just have him ask Cobra questions or like talk with you guys about Cobra after the show or before the show. Just shit like that, because Cobra doesn't even hate the guy. But
that would have been way better, honestly.
Yeah. They just don't know. Luckily, Billy the Fridge, they had done a podcast together. Cobra, he appeared on The Drunken Peasants. So Billy the Fridge knew a good amount about Cobra and like had met him before. So he was able to like kind of talk with Cobra, get some more pointed questions and stuff like that, and kind of save the show.
Yeah, because I did turn it on, but like you said, it was such a dud that like I didn't make it very far. Honestly, it was like Cobra doesn't seem very talkative, and these guys don't really know what they're talking about.
Yeah, one thing that was like I think encapsulated the show a lot was Boogie was on stream looking stuff up about Cobra. But one thing that's interesting is Keemstar did say that someone else was trying to get an interview with Cobra, and they were trying to tell Cobra that they were going to bully him on stream and stuff like that. And then was gloating that he got the interview with Cobra and the other guy didn't. And those are our favorite plot updates and storylines from the week. If you guys are interested, we do these videos weekly, giving you guys updates on the latest for internet weirdos, lolcows, and general internet culture. Drop a subscribe, like, comment on the video, and let us know if there's anything that we missed, anything you'd like to see, or your opinions on any of the stories we talked about.